All right. Hey, welcome Club Freedom Live. So excited to be here today. I've got some very, very special guests. I've got Rocio and Gabe, originally, I believe, from Puerto Rico. Yes. Yes. Is that what I heard before?
Kinda. We
Okay.
started.
Well,
We
you
got
started.
together in Puerto Rico.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that and give you guys all the opportunity to introduce yourself. But before we do that, let a couple people join us here. Just give it a couple seconds. I know some of you are watching this. In fact, most of my viewers watch these on the replay. So if you are watching on the replay, somebody says, yo, I know them. Beautiful. Awesome. If you want us to be able to see your face and your name, then follow the instructions on Facebook in the StreamYard section so that we can actually see who's posting. But by the way, you can also just say your name as well. So do another comment. We love comments. We love likes. We love shares. If you don't know, my name's Clinton Young, and my wife, Mayumi, and I are gearing up for living the full-time RV life like our two guests are today. We're starting off in July, but enough about me. Let's introduce Rocio and Gabe. Welcome to the show, man. Great to have you guys.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Good to be here.
Excellent.
I'll let her give her a quick introduction on her little background.
So
Please.
I'm originally from Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay.
I lived all over and traveled all over, and we just happened to be living at the same time in Puerto Rico, and that's where we met.
I was
Beautiful.
born in Miami, Florida, Florida's where we're at the moment. Same thing, traveled around for a while, settled in Puerto Rico, and I lived there for 11 years, and she lived there off and on for 9 years.
About 9 years in
Two different stints.
In
And that's
Florida.
where we met.
Got it. Awesome. Whereabouts in the Dominican? My wife and I went there for our 10-year wedding anniversary a couple of years ago. We loved it.
Santo Domingo, the capital.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay. I didn't get a chance to go there. We went to Samana. I think I'm saying that correctly.
Oh, yes. Beautiful. We went not too long ago, and oh my God, amazing.
Oh, it was epic. There's this place called, by the way, if anyone is out there and you want to travel next year, I don't know what's in the cards for you guys, but after we're done with our RV lifestyle for about a year or so, we're planning on just going global and just living that nomad life all around the world. And there's such a cool place, and you guys are loved. Obviously, you've got Facebook users here saying that they love you, and they're asking where your precious dog is, and we want to see him. So maybe he'll make an appearance.
They're right here. Come here.
Where's,
Just say hi real quick. Come here. Oh, never mind.
All right. Oh, there he is. What's his name?
This is Wilson.
Will,
yeah, Journey wants to join too. Here we go. Come here, girl.
Wilson and Journey.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's our mixed journey right there.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
There we go.
Okay.
That's awesome. So before we have too much fun here, we're going to get kicked off in a minute. I just want to share one more thing about the Dominican. I loved it so much. The people, the food was so amazing. And Samana was absolutely beautiful. And we stayed at this really cool place. Anyone ever wants to go down there, it's called the Dominican Treehouse Village. Have you heard of it before?
Yes.
Yes, that's on our bucket list. That's on our bucket list.
We know the owner there. We were in a mastermind with him and down in Florida, actually. And it is absolutely epic. Like Dominican Treehouse Village is so cool. Bart, if you're listening, I think it's Bart Griffin, I think is his last name. He's the owner. He's a super cool guy. He's building another resort down there as well. And he's just an awesome entrepreneur. So very, very cool spot. All right, cool. Someone else says, I'm loving this. Yay, Wilson. Tom Hanks. I was thinking the same exact thing. That's awesome. Okay, so we talked a little bit about where you met and where you're from. Now let's move into like what spurred the idea for this crazy thing called let's go live in an RV. Okay. When did that happen and what spurred the idea and whose idea was it?
Ooh. You go first.
I'll go. Well, we had been, like I said, living in Puerto Rico. We were together for a while at this time, and we were exploring other options. As much as we love the island, we are nomads at heart, and we both love to travel. We can't wait to be able to globally travel again.
Yes.
But when we were looking at different options and places to kind of go and settle, the idea came up of, well, how can we continue to travel? We really love it. And so we started looking into it. Different
When was
options.
this, Gabe? When was
This
it?
was in 2017.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Early 2017. Then when we were in Puerto Rico, and we were living there, and the hurricane hit.
Oh,
Hurricane
wow.
Maria
Hurricane Maria
destroyed the island.
So that really kicked us in the butt and set us in motion to like, okay, we've been through enough hurricanes and stuff in our lives. Let's do something. And we had kind of seen some different YouTube videos and stuff on it. And I was the first one to say it. And she said she's adventurous. She was like, let's do it. There was no real convincing or anything. So we jumped head first and just started looking at the YouTube videos and did it. That's kind of how we are. We're crazy.
Yeah. And Maria really put life in perspective for us. Because at some point, like, we actually left the island the day before the hurricane hit, and we thought we had lost everything. Like, at that point, we're like, what are we really going back to? Thank God we went back. Everything was fine. We were one of the lucky ones that nothing happened to our property.
Right.
But that's when we decided, okay, like, we can lose everything in any second.
Yeah.
Why not take advantage of, we can actually do it. Let's just go. So
I love that. And what I love about how it all worked out is that Rocio was just right on board. And I have a feeling if she had the idea, you would have been right on board as well. And it's just the power of, I'm married as well. I've been married for 13 years now, almost 13 years.
You better remember that time frame.
Yes, exactly. Well, as long as I know the date. The date is more important than the number of years. But yeah, that's important too. But like the fact that you clearly have similar values, right? So often you see people get connected for, there's a spark and whatnot. But if there's not that value foundation, like I feel like that truly is the foundation from which everything else is allowed to be supported. Right? Because with those similar values, like, can you imagine if one of you didn't like to travel? Can you just imagine that?
Yeah.
Like how challenging
it wouldn't have worked.
No, it would not have worked.
It wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked, right? Same thing here. So kudos to both of you for doing that. So you've been doing this since what year did you start RV travel?
We recently celebrated, if you will, the 3-year anniversary of our first RV purchase. And I say first because we've had a couple at this point.
Okay. Well, tell us, what did you start with? First of all, what were the progression of the different types of RVs and why?
Well, the first one we did because we had living, sticks and bricks. Yeah. It's hard. The perception is, man, how do I downsize? How do I go from my house, my apartment, whatever it may be, to living in a tiny box?
Yeah.
And so we didn't really go tiny box at first.
We wanted all the comforts.
Yeah. So the first rig that we went with was a 43-foot fifth wheel with a 2-bed, 1.5 bath setup.
That's a beast.
Yes. Yes.
2 beds. Wow. Okay. Did you have an office or something, or was that Wilson's room? Like, talk to me.
The second bedroom was office / guest room when we had guests.
Yeah.
Well, that's convenient, right? Now tell me, one of the questions I had later on, but we'll hit it right now, is like, what were some of the features that, like that second bedroom as an example, that you thought were going to be really valuable and maybe weren't, or some of the ones that maybe you didn't think were going to be super important and you realize, holy cow, I'm so glad we have this. Or maybe that's what drove your next RV. I don't know, your next RV purchase. Talk to me about that.
We definitely thought we needed the space.
Okay.
That we needed to be in something large enough for us to have our own space and work area. And pretty much we were thinking apartment. Like, we weren't thinking RV. We were thinking an apartment that has wheels, pretty much. Yeah. We even took the dinette out and put a fireplace. Like, it was a house.
It was.
And then we slowly realized a lot of the things we didn't need. So we were wasting. Like, we had an outside kitchen too. We didn't use it once.
No.
We really needed that. Yeah. Like, that was one of the things we wanted to check.
That's good to know, Rocio, because that's kind of like a sexy like selling feature when you see that on an RV, the outdoor kitchenette and like the outdoor TV. I'm curious if that's important as well. And by the way, if you're just joining us, I know we have more and more people joining us here live. Some of you are going to be watching us on the replay. My name's Clinton Young with Club Freedom Live on Instagram. And obviously we have Rocio and Gabe here from Our Mixed Journey, also on Instagram and all around the internet. And we're sharing about their journey of becoming full-time RVers. It's been 3+ years so far, and my journey is starting in July. So welcome, comment, like, share, post. We got another comment here right now. And now continue telling me about the progression of RV to the next RV. Why did you make the change? What were some of the other features that you either loved or didn't really care about? And it says, y'all in the RV now, where are you guys traveling at? Now, why don't you answer that question for the viewers too?
So right now we are in the Keys, the Florida Keys.
Beautiful.
Yes. We are not in the RV at the moment because we're getting some repairs done, but we should get it back next week.
Fingers crossed.
It was supposed to be this week, but now it's next week. So
it's been pushed back a couple times. It's frustrating when you have that itch and you're dying to get back on the road. Yeah. But we think hopefully fingers crossed next week.
Got it. Where did you guys get it? Are you guys in a hotel right now, or where did you guys stop off?
We are lucky to have family down here in the Keys, or many RVers like ourselves that travel, full-timers that travel around. You do what's called chasing 70. For those that don't know, it's exactly what it sounds like. You kind of chase 70 degrees based on the weather as you're traveling around. And lucky for the winter, we have family down here. So thank you, family.
I love that. Chasing 70. We're in San Diego right now, but we're both from Massachusetts, my wife and I, and she is literally cold. If it's like 79, she's freaking cold. Okay. It's like, where's my sweater? So like chasing 70. Yeah. Chasing the sun is what we're planning on doing as well. I didn't hear that. I didn't know that term though. Okay. So you went from a fifth wheel. How long did you have that? And what made you make the change? And let's go there next.
Okay, so the first fifth wheel, we bought it brand new. Okay. And we were so excited, thinking in our heads that RVs, it's a new purchase. It's like a car. If something's kind of messed up, you can fix it. If there's continues to be problems, kind of lemon law, and we'll get a new one. That's not how RVs work. There's no real lemon laws or anything.
Got it.
And we had a lemon tree. So,
wow. So listen up here, everybody. This sounds very important. So don't buy new is what you're saying with RVs.
In our experience.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. So keep going.
Yeah. In our experience, like she said, the best thing to do really is look for something that is, it also depends on your budget and what you're trying to do. If you're just doing like weekend warrior kind of deal, then it's not that big of a deal. If you're trying to go full time, then our suggestion is to try and get something that's at most 5 years old. I mean, you can find some gems that are older.
Okay.
But 1 or 2 years old at a decent price, you've got that the devaluation is already there. So you don't have to worry so much about the depreciation and losing money that way. And a lot of the kinks are worked out. The first owner has gone through everything, and you're ready to roll from day one for the most part.
Because pretty much every new RV is going to have something that you're going to have to fix. So you're going to have to take it to the shop to get some work done, some warranty work.
Inevitable. That's where we're at with number 3 right now.
So this is your third RV right now.
We're on our third in 3 years. Yeah.
Hold on. Third in 3 years. So the first one was a lemon.
Yes.
The second one, why did you move past that one? And what was the size dimension of that as well?
So after probably like 2 months, 3 months in the brand new one, we decided we didn't have time to wait for the repairs. So we just traded that one in. The same dealership took it in and traded for another RV. But this one is way better quality. It's another league completely.
Another fifth wheel.
What was the brand? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Montana limited edition.
Got it.
That was, the first one was That was
A 40
a 40 footer. So
smaller.
we went way smaller. We went from 43 to 40. And that one we both loved. That was great. And those big guys, you need a dually. There's no way around it. And you really need something newer. You really can't go older than depending on the weight, you're talking at least 2012 or 13, and in some cases newer than that. We also learned that the hard way, because our first RV, even though it's bigger, it was lighter. And we were driving around with our 2011 Ram dually that all of a sudden just started heating up, and we kept having problems, and we realized, oh, we're over the limit. So we had to trade that in and upgrade the truck when we upgraded to the new fifth wheel.
Got it. So you've specifically been in fifth wheels so far. And by the way, if you're just joining us, I know some people are popping in, popping off. Let us know who you are, where you're from. Are you already doing full-time in the comments? Are you interested in doing full-time RV? We've got Rocio and Gabe here from Our Mixed Journey on Instagram. And some of my heroes, they're inspiring me and my wife as we prepare for our journey. So really fired up. And somebody else says, so size does matter. Of course, that's somebody's got to say that joke. Somebody's got to say the joke, right? Okay. So my wife, I want to share what we're looking to do. We're looking to, we've rented one so far, and it was a 38-foot Class A. So we're going the Class A, and anyone that's out there listening, my rudimentary knowledge of this, I'll share. The fifth wheel is like you pull it right with the dually or the big truck. The Class A is one where you can like get up, walk in the back, and it's kind of looks like a bus, right? So that's what we're looking at. And we're looking at buying probably like a 2000. We're hoping we can get to the 14s and 15s, but it's more likely for our price point, it's going to be probably 2011, 12, which is a little scary based on what you've shared so far. And we're looking at Fleetwood, a 35K model, Fleetwood Bounder 35K. It's got like 1.5 bathrooms, only 1 bedroom, but it's just my wife and I. We don't have any dogs yet. And I'm feeling it might be a little cramped. That's why I'm asking some of these questions. But overall, hopefully we're going to be okay.
Well, in that note, the third RV, we went extremely tiny. So now what we have, and most people don't know, we have a van. So
you
we
went van life on us.
Fifth wheel to a van.
Yeah, but we didn't do the van build ourselves. We didn't have the time and did not feel comfortable kind of saying, this is going to be our home, let's do it ourselves.
It was a transition. It took some time. Yeah.
Going along with what you said, the whole, if she was to recommend or say something, she was the one that said van. At first I was like, I don't know. But she gave me a couple jabs. Let's do it. And I said, okay, let's check it out. And we jumped head first. We got it as a sometime trip when we still had the fifth wheel.
Yep.
And we realized, okay, we can do this, and just made the transition.
So did you have 3 fifth wheels, and then the fourth one is or did you have 2 fifth wheels and then the third one is the van? So you're getting the van worked on right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And are they doing some modifications, or did something break on it, or?
Oh.
Well,
do we not want to go there right now?
No, they're doing warranty work on it.
Got it.
But we are also buying some stuff to do some mods on it as well.
Yeah, we're upgrading both things.
Okay, I want to reset the room here again and just welcome everybody. I know there's more people joining us. More people are going to check in and watch us on the replay as well. My name's Clinton with Club Freedom. We've got Rocio and Gabe from Our Mixed Journey, and we're talking right now. We didn't even get to one of the main questions I want to ask. We're going to backtrack in a minute, back to the psychology of like what it took to say yes and what it took to prepare for this. And the faith, I'm sure, that had to be there, that everything's going to work out. I want to go back to that in a moment, but I just want to recap. So you've had 2 fifth wheels in the last 3 years, and now you're moving into, you're going van life on us, which is cool. Yeah. Very cool. I'm sure some people watching there, they want that more flexibility and the ability to be a little bit more nimble in a van. So have you spent any time in that yet, or is this a brand new thing that you're jumping into right now after these modifications are done?
We did a big trip for like 3 months
Yeah.
since September before coming down here from California all the way to Acadia National Park in Maine and down to Florida. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the van.
Yes,
In the van,
in the van.
yes.
And that really set the tone, like, okay, we are definitely doing this. Like, we can do this.
Okay. Tell me about some of the differences. Now, obviously, there's a lot less space. So what has been like, how does that work going from, well, granted, some people go from houses to vans, but you went from house to fifth wheel to van. Like, what's been some of the challenges and what's been some of the advantages of that?
Well, that's actually, that progression is what made it easier. We've both kind of agreed that, at least on a personal level, had we gone directly from house / good sized apartment, like 3-bedroom kind of deal,
Right.
to a van, it would not have worked. We would have probably strangled each other and then had to have gone back to a big place to be like, I'm going to spend the next week or so in my own room. And then
Alone.
right. But the fact that we did go from the apartment to the fifth wheel, and we got kind of used to smaller size. They're still big in the RV life terms.
Right.
That made it easier. And the transition to van, because of the specific layout that she actually was the one that picked, and it's been perfect for us. It's pretty roomy. It's us two and the dogs, and we're comfortable.
What's the brand on that? What kind of van is it?
It's a Thor Sequence 20L or 22?
20L.
20L.
Thor Sequence 20L. So if anybody wants to Google that and throw a picture in the comments, that'd be cool. Somebody here says something that I definitely want to talk about at some point as well, is the RV life gave the most beautiful and fabulous friends that became family to us. I know in my one experience of renting an RV that is absolutely true, right? There's always a bad apple in every bunch, right? But I'm not saying everybody's perfect that has an RV, but the community, man, that I found, it was just so amazing. Have you guys found this to be true as well?
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Everywhere we've been, like, people is super helpful. If you're parking or if you don't know what you're doing, someone's gonna, come to you and be like, do you need help?
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do? We made a lot of very, very good friends.
We've made lifelong friends that are, like they said, family now along the way, and that's why we have friends that are all over the West Coast, and we have luckily also friends that beforehand that are coming in from all over. But the RV community in and of itself is unbelievably just welcoming and helpful and always warm. Doesn't matter where you're at. It's amazing.
Somebody just put another comment in, and I'm going to share it in one moment, but just let's dig into this a little bit more. Why do you think that is? Because I play pickleball as well. I got my pickleball jersey on today, baby. If you haven't played pickleball yet, guys, I'm telling you, pickleball will change your freaking life. It's an amazing sport. Tons of fun. Okay. That's my ambassadorship there. So anyways, and by the way, you got to check out the Nyapipo paddle. I don't get paid by them. I love this paddle. I just got it. It's really, really cool. And it's super cheap on Amazon. And you get 2 of them. So you guys should go play pickleball. But I want to dig into this. Like, why is it that the community in the RV space, the RV community, people are so friendly? Like, why do you think that is? Because I have totally found that. And everyone I've talked to has said the same dang thing. I wonder why. Is it because you're all happy? Why is that?
Well, I don't think necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of headaches too that come with living in an RV, but it's just people can relate.
Yeah.
People know the headaches you're going through or not, and it's having something in common. And also, like, people choose to live this lifestyle are usually like more genuine. They're looking for more connection. Everybody in regular life, it's like the rat race. It's like, I am on this lane and I have to do this and I have to accomplish this. When you are in RV life, you like slow down and appreciate some things that wouldn't.
the world around you. Yeah, and it goes back to what you said about partnerships and
Values.
well, the values. You're getting into a community where everybody has similar values. In that they want the adventure, they want to get out there,
Boom.
and there's different levels from when you start. So School of Hard Knocks is the best way to learn. You can watch YouTube videos and read blogs as much as you want, and they help. But the School of Hard Knocks, man, and as you go through it, it's from beginner to now, 3 years in, I guess we're at least intermediate, probably expert at this point because we've gone through all the headaches, and you want to help somebody. You see somebody struggling to park the first time, and you could tell it's their first time that they're parking either a big Class A like you or a fifth wheeler trailer, and you just help them out because you've been there and you know what it's like.
Yeah, I got a story about that. When I rented my first RV, dude, this was hilarious. Like, we get there late. We went out to what is it called? It was such a cool place, to Sky Valley Resort out in Palm Desert area. And they have pickleball, by the way. You can play. Amazing. And it's actually it's a community. That's the number one reason why I chose that place. It's not like it had this, I had this breakthrough. Like, it wasn't like this 5-star place with, mansions. There were people literally lived in mobile homes there, but it was like their second or third home. Right. And I had this realization, like I had this stigma that I thought, oh, people that live in those are like not, I don't know what the heck I was thinking, but I was a little bit taken back when I got there. I was like, this isn't what I expected. I thought there'd be RVs everywhere. And there were some RVs and then some mobile homes. But then when we started meeting people, literally within like 5 minutes, people are like, oh, how can I help you? Welcome to the community. We're here for a season, or we're here for our 15th season. You probably have heard that term.
Yeah.
We start playing pickleball. And then that next morning, I'm calling and I'm complaining. I'm like, we don't have a septic hookup. And like, I keep having to turn on my generator. And this guy drives by. I was saying that into a voicemail, by the way. The guy drives by on a little go-kart. He ended up being what they call work camper. You've probably heard that term before, right?
Yeah.
So he worked there for the season doing like landscaping, and he was a camper. And a lot of people from Canada. And I telling him, like, I thought they're supposed to have sewage. He comes over and he kicks the ground a little bit, and there's a little black thing. And he's like, well, there's your sewer, right?
There it is.
I didn't even freaking see it, right? It's right there, right? And then the neighbor, and he was so nice. He told us all about his family and everywhere he's gone. He was so helpful, like so many things. We just, like you said, we hit it off right away. We had similar values. And then about an hour later, I turned on the generator again because I want to use the microwave. And I don't realize that you don't normally have to do that if you're plugged in, right, to electric. But what I didn't realize is I was plugged into the 30 amp because the last person that rented the RV had kept the extender on from the 50 to the 30. And I just used the 30 and plugged into that hole because that's the one that was plugged in. And she's like, oh, so you're plugged into the wrong one. She takes it off, plugs into the 50. She's like, you're good now. Yeah. I was like, oh, so everybody has been so dang helpful. And I think you hit the nail on the head, both of you. And it really just comes back to, like, people have similar values. They seek connection. They value connection. They value probably adventure and freedom and experiencing different experiences and meeting new people, right? So love it. And somebody is dying to know that we got to know, Gabe, who's your best friend? And you can't say Rocio or either dog. So it's probably the person who posted.
You are.
You are.
There's not one. It's a tie of a handful of people. I can't. They're family at this point. So yeah, I can't do it. Okay. No official names.
Okay. Awesome. Well, again, it's been awesome learning more from you. I want to hear more about, like, the psychology and, like, was there any faith involved? And I'm not necessarily talking about religious faith. I just mean, like, that belief that it's possible. Like, before you said yes, and then you said yes to each other, and then you're like, holy crap, now we have to actually make this happen. Or maybe there was no holy crap for you. So right now, if you're just joining us, we're here with Rocio and Gabe, and we're talking about their mixed journey. They're from Our Mixed Journey on Instagram, and they've been doing full-time RV for the last 3+ years. And my wife and I from Club Freedom, we're looking at doing our journey starting in July. So talk to us about what it took to actually like make it happen after you said yes, that you're going to do it. Bring us back to 3 years ago.
Well, we, like we had said before, we were in just looking for something different.
Yeah.
And we're both adventurous. So as we were looking, then the hurricane hit, Hurricane Maria, for those that are just joining in Puerto Rico. We were living in Puerto Rico at the time. That was the catalyst for, man, I think we need to do something. We need to change. And we had already been looking into the RV life. So we kind of just jumped in. We got back to the island. We were able to get off and come back after the storm. When we got back, we were settling back into whatever semblance of normalcy life was post-hurricane there. And we were there for about a month or so, and we had been talking about it, and it was like a Band-Aid. I said, I'm tired of talking about it. So I just told my bosses, I said, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to work remotely, and I'm going to, run your company remotely, or I'm out. And they were like, okay, well, enjoy the journey. And that's kind of the catalyst that I just.
And were you out? Were you out, or did you work remotely?
No, I work. I'm still doing it. I work remotely now. And I called her. She was at the office, and I said, okay. I told my bosses, and she said, whoa, wow. So it's official. So she did the same thing.
Wow. Courage, baby. Love it. Take action. Take action in spite of fear. So I know a lot of people watching are going to like one of the taglines of Club Freedom Live is making money on the move, right? Because a lot of people who are in RVs are like 65 and 70. And if anybody's watching, I'm not trying to poo-poo anybody that's in that demographic, but they've already retired. They have money. They don't really need to make money. But there's a massive trend, as you probably have noticed, to younger people like us that are like, we just want to have more freedom and adventure in our lives, and we don't need to be tied to a desk. And COVID is probably spurring that. I know it's spurring that even more. More and more people are buying RVs and moving into RVs and vans as well. So like, tell us a little bit more about your work situation. Like, how do you make that work? And let's start there. Like, what kind of work do you guys do? If you don't mind sharing a little bit, you can be as detailed or less detailed as you like. But like, share it for people that are out there wondering, how am I going to make money on the move?
So like Gabe said, he was lucky to be able to put his work online remotely.
Yep.
Like you said, most people think that RVing is only for like retired people. Like
Right.
You can do this lifestyle, like with the pandemic, and even before now with like so many jobs being done online, more people is transitioning into this lifestyle.
Yeah.
So Gabe, well, say what you work for.
I run a mental health corporation in Puerto Rico, and
Remotely.
What's that? Remotely, yes. Remotely.
Amazing.
Yes. Well, the catalyst again, so much. We were blessed. So much has happened good for us. A lot of this life is full of. It's a roller coaster. Because you can be at Grand Tetons seeing moose one day, and the next day you're on the side of the road with a flat tire and your generator's not working, kind of deal. But the journey has been awesome for us, and the catalyst for that as well was also Hurricane Maria, because we were able to get off the island and what we thought was going to be maybe a few days or a week, and then get back to the island right after the hurricane. But it ended up being about a month and a half or so, right?
Yeah. And for work, when we decided to do this, I quit my corporate job in Puerto Rico. Well, the headquarters were in Utah. And from there, I tried different things to see what I could do from the road. Unfortunately, at that time, there was nothing really. So we ended up staying in California. We were supposed to be there for a winter. And it just so happens that the same day we got there, I met someone at my best friend's birthday party, surprise party. And they offered me a job right there. And I'm like, I don't think I'm looking to stay in California. And we stayed stationary in the RV in California for a year and a half.
For a year and change.
A year and a half. between San Diego and Newport.
Oh, got it. Okay, cool.
And as far as my situation when the hurricane came, I ended up having to do everything essentially. I went from just being the CEO and running a company to I had to do everything, answer the phones, and we were trying to help friends and family back on the island as well. And since I was off the island and I was the only one in the company at that time off the island, I was the only one that had internet and cell phone service and everything. So out of necessity, I started to have to do mobile work.
Right.
And that's where the light bulb went off. And so when I got back, I, without telling the bosses, got everything in order to do that. And once I knew that I had the business ready, that I could officially, without hesitation, run it virtually, that's when I told them, listen, this is what I'm going to do. And if not, I'll help you guys transition, but, this is what I want. And they said, go for it.
And with that, a shout out to our Zurich family in Utah.
Oh, yes.
Because they saved us during that period of time with the hurricane. We lived in Utah for a month and a half.
That's great. So anybody that's watching that has a job, know that this is very possible. And in fact, it could be the best time because more and more employers are looking at the cost savings of actually having people work remotely. And you can position it to them, and maybe not as Gabe, just say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like if you're okay with the consequences of maybe them saying no, there's other ways you can do that as well, though, right? And just position it as a trial run or an opportunity. You're already probably working from home anyways. So that's amazing. Have you found any friends, or who have you found in your friends, or what kind of work have you found in the RV community that you found that other people are doing? Are most people employed, like they have jobs and they work remotely? Are some people like entrepreneurs that are kind of doing online businesses? What are some other examples of people that you've met, perhaps? If I don't know if you guys talk about that with people that you meet, but
we've met a couple of YouTubers.
Yes.
Okay. YouTubers
have their own YouTube channel. We have a beautiful friend that has an Etsy store.
Okay.
Complete entrepreneur. She's a jack of all trades. She just does everything. And then people that have like just normal 9 to 5, but happen to work remotely.
Got it. Okay. And then
the other thing, sorry to cut you off. The other thing that we've seen is what you mentioned earlier at your place, which is either camp hosts, work campers that go, seasonal jobs that maybe working for Amazon for a summer or something like that, like different things. You'd be surprised just the plethora of jobs and things. And then there's even mobile repair, people that have their own RV and they install solar and or fix RVs along the way.
Yeah. And there's a lot. In fact, if anybody's watching right now that knows some of the resources, I don't have the exact website, but there's a lot of job boards and things like that for people that are out on the road that want to do temporary work in different locations. There's a lot of work camping opportunities and sites as well. So there's a lot of things. And, for some people that are entrepreneurs, like my wife runs a franchise called CPA Moms. And she's growing that and helping moms all around the US who are accountants become firm owners while they have a family. She can do that anywhere. She can help people start their franchise anywhere. And I'm a speaker and I'm a coach for speakers who want to crush their keynotes or crush their TEDx talk or crush their sales presentation. I can do that on Zoom anywhere. And of course, I speak all over the place anyways. So it's like, you can totally do this. I can do this. These guys are doing this. So love it, love it, love it. So now let's get back to living, especially any of those folks out there that are couples or have a partner, whether they're together intimately or just platonic friends that are going to travel together. How do you create space? Like, how do you get your alone time? How do you create space? And what are some of the things that you do as you're traveling or even as you're staying at a campsite or an RV park? What do you do to create space and stay sane?
So,
stay connected.
I am one of those persons that needs space and alone time.
Okay.
He not so much.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm social. I can hang out from the morning to midnight.
But we know that we need our own time. He is a morning person. So he will get up early and have his own alone time, go for walks. Me, it's more just either being outside now that it's a van, or having my own minute, like, okay, babe, I need my time. And he's very respectful of that.
Yeah.
And mind you, most of the day we're both in our own projects. So he's in his computer doing his job, doing, having his own time, and while I'm doing my own thing. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily like we're always, on top of each other.
Are you guys working out of the van usually, or do you grab your computer and go like to an internet cafe, or just go outside, or how do you do that? And talk to me about internet as well.
Pretty much a mix of both.
Mostly the van, but we do you get accustomed to either one. We've done both. The majority would be van, and the best thing I would suggest to people that are trying to work remotely like this is to make sure to get decent Wi-Fi for hotspots. What we did is we have two carriers. So I have AT&T and she has T-Mobile, so that if we're in one area that's spotty for one, it may be better for another one. And then another one of the big things that we suggest is to get a Wi-Fi extender.
Okay, talk to me about that.
There are different brands. Basically, what it is, it's a little connection that you normally put it on a roof or someplace that gets signal, and it's just an antenna. It's an antenna with a cord that you run into your van, and it creates then a little area, a Wi-Fi area, and it boosts and connects to your personal hotspot signal and boosts that.
And it makes a big difference.
Big difference.
Big difference.
We've been in areas where we had no service and jumped up to like 3 bars of 4G LTE. We've been in that little dot that you have that you really can't do anything. That's just frustrating to full service. So it makes a big difference.
And it's something to take into consideration, even if you're not planning on boondocking and being, isolated. Not most, but a lot of RV parks, their internet is no bueno.
Really?
So, yes. And also they have so many people connected at the same time, and a lot of people streaming and watching Netflix. So you're going to have internet, but it's going to be slow.
Got it. So what are we talking cost wise to make sure you have solid internet pretty much all the time whenever you need it? What are we talking cost wise on that? What would you guess?
I mean, if you're talking like I want to Netflix stream and work all day
like this
every day to do stuff like this, you're gonna have to look into a unlimited plan, and the problem with that in many cases is you kind of have to figure out what the sweet spot is, because a lot of them will throttle after a certain amount of time. So what we try to do is look at some of them. Will say we'll throttle your hotspot. You have unlimited package, but we'll throttle your hotspot if you go over a certain amount. But you have a lot more on, say, if you're using your phone directly. So not for hotspot. We'll try to stream movies or something like that, entertainment wise, or like we're doing now. We're on our phone for this interview.
Oh wow!
And so those are things you just kind of adapt. But price.
Yeah, how much is an extender? Have you guys bought an extender yet?
The booster that we have boost. And that's at one time you just buy.
What is it called?
We Boost.
We Boost?
Yes.
We Boost. Yeah, there's a couple brands, but We Boost is the one that we bought. And a few years ago when we bought it, it was, I believe, $300, maybe $400, which is a little pricey at first, but
it's not a monthly or anything.
That's not bad. If it's going to solve your problem, that's
exactly. And we've been in the middle of nowhere and able to work because of it. So.
And going to what you were saying, for us not to use our internet for like Netflix and things like that, Gabe found actually that plugging a cable, there's a cable that you can plug from the TV to the phone and use the phone to watch Netflix, and it will just show up on the TV. So that way you're not using the hotspot.
Right.
Got it.
You're using your regular internet.
And
Got
you can use it, and I've used it for something. Obviously, it's, you know, you're limited on the phone to what you can do, but I've been able to actually take care of some work using that as well, because I connect to the TV monitor and I'm, you know, using my phone and taking care of things that way.
Okay, so now let's round out. We're almost done here. Everybody stick with us. We're going to talk about some fun stories right now. And we're obviously here with Rocio and Gabe. Several of you, probably the same folks. We're going to have some new people on. They're of Our Mixed Journey on Instagram. My name's Clinton Young, and I'm with Club Freedom Live on Instagram. My wife and I are heading off in July, and we're learning from amazing people like Rocio and Gabe here, and really inspiring people. Living the life. LIVIN, baby. You're living. So talk to me about what are some of the favorite places that you've been from a like, let's talk nature. From a nature perspective first, and then there might be some cool cities or towns or like state fairs you went to. I don't know. Mix in. What are some of your favorite places that you've gone to? Like, give me like your top 3.
Oh, that's pretty hard. We are all about nature. Like this lifestyle, we chose to go to national parks more than anything. So we already checked 30 of the list.
Woo!
So,
Okay, so what's one that pops off your head?
A place.
Which one pops off your head like right away?
Yosemite.
Yosemite is one of those that it's just incredible. Zion,
definitely.
and well, I see Tetons and Yellowstone as a one because they're so close.
They're right there. Yeah, the nature and the majesty of the mountains, and just, I don't know if you've ever been to Tetons or not, but just those mountains, they leave you speechless. And then the grandeur and the scale of Yellowstone with all the animals and the different things there. Yeah, that's pretty spectacular too.
How do you compare? Did you go to Glacier as well?
No, that's our bucket. That's the next one we're going to.
Right there.
That's the next one. Well, when we went, see, remember, we are warm-blooded people. We're from the Caribbean and Florida. And to us, summer is, 10 months long kind of deal. And then you have sprawl, which is kind of spring and fall mixed in one. And we were traveling up and we didn't even think about it. It was September. And we were getting up to Yellowstone. So for us, it was still technically summer, but it snowed on us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this was when we were pulling the big fifth wheel and driving those mountains. The Rocky Mountains are not easy if you're learning how to drive and pull a big rig like that. So while we were like, oh, we're so close, we said we have to head south. Like we can't.
Yeah.
It's getting cold really fast. Yeah. Mid-September.
Sorry, I just spilled a little water. My phone alarm just went off because I have another. Sorry about that. Okay. So minor detour here. So talk to me about like, what are some of the resources that you recommend, like park passes, things of that nature, coupon type stuff, or parking, or like, what are some of those extra resources that you'd want to share with people?
We have a few. We have the National Park Pass. That's a must. Like we have to have that.
Must have. Okay. What is that called? Is that the America the Beautiful Pass or something?
America the Beautiful Pass. It's about $80.
Yeah, 80 something dollars.
And it's unlimited for the year.
It's worth it because you go to two parks or so, or 3 parks, and it's paid for itself.
Yeah, totally. Okay. What else do you think?
As for RVing, when we first started, we had 1,000 trails. That was a lifesaver back then.
Yeah.
We're honestly now traveling in a different way, so we might not be using it.
What is that good for? What does 1,000 Trails do for you? And I'm sorry, I'm just cleaning up the water, but I'm totally listening to you.
So it is a membership. They let you stay after you pay for the membership. They have different tiers. And they allow you to stay in their campgrounds for 2 weeks, and then you have to get out.
Depends on the membership.
But the one that we had, we could stay for free for 2 weeks at any of their parks. We would just make the reservation and go. They have in most of the coastlines,
Yeah,
not in the middle of the map though.
they have a few in the middle, but for the most part, that kind of U from coast to coast, excluding Canada, that where you're going coast to coast around the border, they
Right.
have a decent amount of parks. And they also have, and what they do is they do it by zones. We had what's called the zone pass. And you kind of pick, I want my home base to be the Southwest or the Southeast.
Got
And
it.
then from there, you can add on other zones for, I think, like $50. But we found it worth it the way we were traveling before, which was
For
kind of,
someone that wants to go slow and stay in a place for like 2 weeks at a time, yeah, that's definitely one of those that we recommend.
That one. So that was All Trails. All Trails is the one you're primarily talking about.
Thousand Trails.
Oh, Thousand Trails.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we have now Harvest Host. I think for those of you that don't know, you can stay in like vineyards and breweries and museums. We actually stayed in a museum in Colorado. It was pretty cool.
very cool.
So Harvest Host is one membership that we really like. I love wine, so we both do.
Yeah.
Breweries too.
Boondockers welcome. And Harvest Host is only one time a year membership. It's I want to say, I forget, probably between $50 or $70 for the year. So not a whole lot for that, considering what you get for it.
And those are most like a stop. It's not really like you're gonna go and camp for like a week. Like you just stopping by for like a day, maybe two.
Yeah, that's usually a 1 to 3 days. Same thing. There's another one called Boondockers Welcome, which is similar. That's people that have extra space in their front yard, or a big lot. Maybe they own a business. Same thing, and you pay for the membership, another like $60 or $70 or so a year, and same thing. And then the other one that I would say is very helpful is Passport America. Passport America is $50, if I'm not mistaken, a year, and they have a network of thousands of RV parks that they are affiliated with around the country, and you get really good deals with them. So you look, and they'll have some that'll say, hey, if you're a member of Passport America, you can stay for 3, 4, 5 nights, whatever it may be at each given park, or you can stay for 20% cost or 50% cost nightly, and it paid. That's another one that pays for itself the first time that you use it.
Got it.
And those are the paid ones. I mean, we go to a couple of free ones too.
Yeah, and it also depends on the style of travel that you want to do. We started off as RV parkers. We would go because it was harder, and with the fifth wheel, you kind of need the space, and you want a home base, especially for the dogs, to kind of leave them plugged in and everything with AC. So we needed more of an RV park kind of lifestyle. Now that we are in the van, that's the freedom that you were talking about. It's just on another level. So we can pick and go wherever we want. We've got some solar and a generator and stuff. So we can go, and the freedom to go boondock. Since we got the van in the 3-month kind of drive journey deal that we did, I think we stayed 3 total nights or 4 at an RV park. The rest of the time was just nature or Walmarts and stuff like that. But that's part of it, when you're driving around, you'll find and you'll be like, listen, I need a place to stay for the night. Cabela's is good for that. Walmart. Our favorite one is probably Cracker Barrel, because you can have breakfast in the morning and then keep going.
I've heard that. Yeah. So, okay. So we're going to round out here pretty quick. I have so many more questions for you guys, but this has been awesome. Question about what you were just sharing is, so you're staying at all these, money. So as far as, it's obviously a lot cheaper in the van, sounds like, because you're not paying for all the RV parks. Overall, when you were in the RV, would you say you were paying more than your normal monthly expenses, or less than your monthly expenses, or about the same? Or what would you say when you were staying at RV parks? A lot.
Well, I think it all depends on how you want to do it. It could be going to RV parks that are as low as, I don't know, $20 a night. But there's some ones that are really, really expensive too, like high end. You can
Right.
pay probably like 100 and
200,
some
100 something, 200
per night. So
Wow.
it all depends on how you want to do it. For
Got
us,
it.
we're like middle
Yeah, I mean,
50s
yeah,
per night.
it's honestly all about lifestyle because it can be cheaper and you can budget it if you're smart about it and you get something like 1,000 trails and a Passport America, you could do 2 weeks at 1,000 trails for free. You've already paid for the memberships, and then you do a couple Passport Americas because you have to be out for another week before going back in for two. So you do Passport Americas at like 50% off for a few days, and you go back to another 1,000 trails. So in a month, you've spent maybe 150, $200 for staying there, staying at places. But then you're not really. Then it's harder to kind of travel around constantly. So it all depends on the lifestyle. You can do it for not that expensive, or you can do it for more expensive than living in a sticks and bricks. So it's
Okay.
a big gap.
So there's a range, but it sounds like you can definitely, create a great lifestyle and have a very affordable way to do that. So how long do you recommend staying in each location? Like what do you guys find is most enjoyable when you're traveling?
Personally, we like to do, I would say probably 3 to 5 days.
3 to 5 days is the sweet spot. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
That,
cool.
that gives you enough to kind of see the area. But like we said, we're nomads, so we kind of want to see the next place. But
Yeah.
3 to 5 gives you a chance to see the area, do 1 or 2 cool things, and then, relax, because it can be taxing. When you first start, you want to go and see everything, and it's hard.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 1,000 Trails, we got Harvest Host, we got America the Beautiful, we got Boondockers Welcome, we got Passport America, tons of awesome resources. We're going to round out here. I have one final question, and I want to ask how people can follow you in a moment as well, and how we can support you. But the last question is, knowing what you know now, and for those people out there that are really craving more freedom and more adventure and want to take this leap, like what is your last piece of advice that you would give? And I want to hear separately from both of you.
Go first.
So I think with everything in life, you don't know until you try it. Like you can read as much as you like, you can watch as many videos as you like. We thought, oh, we know everything. We didn't. The one way to know for sure if it's going to work or not is doing it. That's it. You have to do like you
Just
have
do
to
it, like Nike.
Just like Nike.
That's
right.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I think just having faith that things are going to work out,
Yeah.
Give it a try.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Just right down to the just do it kind of deal. So I guess I'll add on to it. The moment's never going to be perfect. If you try to wait for everything to be perfect, I have to have the right rig. I have to have everything set up. I have to have X amount in the bank. And it's never. There's always something that's going to come up. Take the leap of faith. Like I called her and I said, hey, we're doing it. We did it. And yeah, we've hit some, I wouldn't even want to say speed bumps. We've hit some roadblocks along the way, but we stuck with it. And sometimes it was hard to stick with it, but we are glad that we have, and we can't wait to get back on the road.
Awesome. Well, it's been so great to get to know both of you, Rocio and Gabe. And I'm so excited to meet you someday out on the road at a park, take a hike together, maybe play some pickleball. Come on now. Yes. And how can we all follow you? Obviously, Our Mixed Journey is your handle on Instagram. But tell us, how can we support you? What are you up to? What do you need? How can we give you resources and help you on your journey?
So right now we are sharing part of the story on Instagram. Yes, Our Mixed Journey. That's the main channel we're using right now. We hope to have videos up on YouTube. So all of our links are listed on our Mixed Journey account. From there, you're gonna find the website, the YouTube channel, and a couple more things. But for right now, that's where you can follow us.
Excellent.
And we do have a ton of video to edit. It just takes so long to edit the video.
Yes, I definitely know that game. So, and I also have here, is it bio.wheelers.com/our mixed journey? What is that? Is that your?
Once you click on that, that allows you to put many links within that one. So it's like a home
Kind of like a link tree.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Yes.
So I just posted that in YouTube. Facebook won't let me post directly in Facebook. But what I would recommend, and somebody else, by the way, just had a comment here. Open-minded and positivity is also great for RV life. Yes, because you never know what's going to happen, right?
Welcome to Neighbors with a Drink. I think I know who that is.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So again, let me just pop up your banner here one last time. Definitely follow. There it is. Boom. That's what I was trying to do. Follow Rocio and Gabe on Instagram. Also, I put the link in YouTube. Please, both of you, go into Facebook, into the Club Freedom group, and post your links in there as well. Okay, both you guys. And then anyone else that's listening, that's watching, we just thank you for following and supporting Rocio and Gabe on their mixed journey for our mixed journey, right? And also my wife and I, Mayumi, on our Club Freedom journey that starts in July. Until next time, remember to always think big, say yes, and take action. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.